Hello, everyone, and welcome back in. Well, this is episode 1 of what is going to be a very nice little special series here. We're going to take a close look at AK's brand new kit, the FJ43 pickup truck. Just as a little bit of a background, this is the first kit release under the AK label, so it's a brand new kit, new tool, new molds, everything. I think it's a great choice. There's so many different finishing options with this type of a vehicle. So in this episode 1, we're going to take our time and we're going to open up the box, we'll dump out the contents, and we'll construct our vehicle. Well, the prevalence of these improvised military vehicles is due in large part because of the vehicle's popularity in peacetime. Thus, when the tensions turned to conflict, this ready motor pool of robust vehicles became pressed into service. The technical gets its name from the euphemism from the days of the Somalia relief effort. During that time, media crews, NGOs, and other civilian types had to pay for the security services provided by the local warlords. A little more than extortion or a protection racket, these fees for these mercenary services were often noted down as, quote, technical assistance. In addition, it's probably no coincidence that the Soviets and others produced heavy weapons that fit perfectly into the bed of these pickups. When it comes to mobile warfare, the mashup of anti-aircraft cannons and recoilless rifles fitted into these rugged SUVs became known as the technical. Okay, let's get started here. Well, first thing we notice is that we have some very nice box art here. Definitely shows the vehicle as it might be used, rugged and beat up a bit, technical as they call them. And then on the side, we have some other options, color options available as well, some suggestions. And that's all well and good and looks very pretty, but let's see what's inside of the box. So we'll open this up and we have gray plastic covered with the, in the little plastic bags. Nothing too different about that. I think there's 194 parts in this, so it's not a terribly labor-intensive kit. I don't think it's going to be, not a lot of parts here. It's all packaged very, very nicely, and we have the little bit of the instruction booklet here down on the bottom, also nice, and looks to be just a small section of photo etch right there, and then a small decal sheet also enclosed in the wrap. Opening the instructions, well, we start off with the chassis and the wheels and tires, and it looks like we have some options right off the bat here where we can make more of a off-road tire or a street tire, multi-part tires as they go in the assembly. Nice options there. We could probably mix and match if we want to. We also have some color suggestions over on the left side. And we go turning the page, and yeah, pretty much follows what would be normal, regular construction of a truck or even a car, tank, whatever. You start with the lower chassis. It looks like we're going to work our way up. Also a nice feature is that the text is also shown in both English and in Spanish, which is nice. Flipping pages here just to kind of get a lay of the land. I always do this with my kits. I basically just kind of thumb through the instructions first just to kind of get an overall view of what's coming up. Look for any spots that I think might be a little bit troubling or not, or maybe where sub-assemblies might be appropriate. And as you can see, it doesn't take very long before we're actually looking at photographs or illustrations of the vehicle as it's complete. So I think it's going to be a pretty quick build. I think it looks fairly comprehensive. The kit parts, what I've seen so far, we'll take a closer look at those, are nicely molded. The instructions look nice and clear, so I'm looking forward to working my way through those. Some nice options there. There's little templates for the windshield, which is nice. Even have the little wiper marks there, from where the dust and dirt might be wiped off by the wipers themselves. And then, of course, turning to the last pages, we have the full color profiles, similar to what was on the side of the box. Now they're illustrated in the back of the instructions themselves, along with the paint callouts and any markings or decals. Like I said, there's a very limited decal sheet within the box for a couple of these different designs. Just a brief time out here as a quick reminder. If you do like this channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really would appreciate that. Thanks so much. So let's get started. We do have a couple options of tires, one being a little bit more of an off-road aggressive tread pattern and one more of a civilian tread pattern. And they're also designated as front and rear on those first instructions. So I want to look back here and yep, of course, there are front and rear specific tires as they're placed a little bit further on in the instructions. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and use the off-road tires. These are just a two-piece, a two-part assembly. So we've got a left and right or interior exterior sort of thing. Next up is the chassis and the frame here. So just building that up, part by part. The pieces, the different pieces fit very, very well. There's locator marks or pins throughout here, so it's nice and secure as to where the parts go, and they fit really, really well, so I'm very impressed with that. Added the muffler and the exhaust system, which again kind of wraps around like most do, but it also fits. There's little notches where everything just kind of gets laid in place. Now moving up to the front of the vehicle, and specifically the steering, AK has provided a really interesting option here. Basically, 3 different steering or linkage arrangements here. One will allow the tires to be pointing straight forward, another with the wheels turned left, and another with the wheels turned right. So there's 3 different options within the sprues. And so depending how you'd like to portray your vehicle, you pick one of those, and then everything just locks into place. At this moment, I just have a friction fit with the little ball joint there at the end of the axle, and until I put the little steering arms here. And once I have those in place, then I can just secure everything with a little bit of glue. That's pretty tricky. I like this. This is a nice little option to have with the kit. Everything's nice and secure, and you're pretty much assured that all the alignment is going to be perfect. And then once that little sub-assembly is set up to dry, then I just attach it again to the frame, and we're good to go. Look at this. This is all coming together actually very quickly here. Well, construction goes along so quickly that we're actually finished with the chassis, at least for the time being, and now we start working our way up to the top parts of the vehicle. So first off, we start building out what is the driver compartment, attaching that to the floor bed of the rear cargo bed. And then we also have the little side mount seats that go in there as well. Those will be attached. A few details, just like the gear shift and things like that, go into the driver compartment, just to add a little touch there. Of course, gas pedal, brake pedal, clutch go against the firewall, and we can attach that to the front of the driver's area. And then just that quickly, we're ready to attach the chassis to the upper part of the vehicle itself. Just a few drops of glue on these contact points, and just drop it into space there, and yep, the alignment is absolutely spot on. Perfect. Once the body and the chassis are combined, now it's just a matter of adding the smaller details just to give it all the personality and life that it deserves. So we've got their dashboard. We just kind of slide that into place, and once again, nice little tabs there just to make sure it's a nice, secure, and proper fit. Excellent. Next up, just adding the driver and passenger seats. I think what I'll do here is just add the seat frames to the truck itself, but I'll leave off the cushions. I'll leave those separate right now. And in the instructions there, they are somewhat specific as to driver and passenger side, so I'll just put a little D and a P on the bottom here. But I'll leave these off for right now so I can paint them separately and then add them later on. We're going to take a brief pause here because, well, this project in particular has been brought to you by my Patrons who suggested what will be the final finish of this vehicle. If you like this channel and like a little bit more content and participation, some chats on Discord, well, I invite you to come over and check out the Patreon page. The link for that is in the description below. And once again, a huge thank you to my Patrons for being such a great bunch of people and making this project possible. And then moving up to the front of the vehicle, we'll add the hood or bonnet to my friends on the other side of the pond. And again, the fit is very, very nice and secure. Everything just locks into place. It's a really comforting feeling as you're working through this, knowing that the alignment is going to be working out in the end. Again, just adding some extra details here, the little running boards to the side of the kit. One on the left, one on the right side. We'll add the front bumper up here. Again, little notches in the rear side of the bumper on the interior side just fit into the brackets. Nice. And then, of course, I want to see what this is going to look like, so we'll do just a little bit of a friction fit here with the wheels and tires. Actually, I've put just a drop of white glue onto the axles and just kind of dropping those into place. And they'll be easy to remove later on when it's time to paint. But, of course, we all want to see what this is going to look like, right? There we go. We've got a couple of shots of our FJ43 here, just in stills. And, of course, we'll put it on the turntable, and we'll have our spinning FJ43. And now for the fun part. If you weren't aware, over on my Patreon, I ran a little bit of a contest with my members where they were all able to basically come up with or make suggestions as to how this project will be finished, what will be the final paint scheme, the theme of this project. And the cool thing is that whoever I chose as the the winner of this theme, well, that person, that member, receives a copy of this kit. As a matter of fact, I've chosen 2 different people, and so I have 2 kits going out to the members of my Patreon. So now you can see where this is going. We have a vehicle that's going to be painted in this light sand tone, basically the base color with these darker brown stripes of camouflage. The other thing you'll notice here is that there is a recoilless rifle in the back here, and of course the kit did not come with that. So let's go back to my favorite online hobby store and rush a kit here. So I've purchased the US M38A1C, which has, of course, the recoilless rifle sitting in the back. So we'll be poaching that from this kit. And let's see here, out of all this lovely green AFV Club plastic, yep, we only need this one small little sprue here in the center. Oh, we'll put the rest back in the box and we'll save it for a rainy day. So first is just the gun platform, the mount here. And what's really nice is, look at this, it all fits. It's almost like everything is the same scale and meant to be. So that's really, really nice. Do run into one little issue here because in the reference vehicle, you might notice that there are no bench seats in the back of the cargo bed there, and there are bench seats in this one. So I have a choice. I could either take out the bench seats or I could just cut off the brackets here on the gun mount. Guess which one I chose? So we'll just make a quick measurement here and we'll snip those off so that the gun will have the proper elevation in the back here. So let's do that. Place that in there. Okay, there we go. Yep. That's going to look just fine. No problem at all. So just continue working on the AFV Club parts here, just clipping out the gun barrel. It's a 2-part barrel. Took a little bit of sanding to get those seam lines all tamed down and looking nice. And now it's just a matter of putting these 2 parts together. Just kind of twist that in there. There we go. Twist that in there. And let's put it in the truck and let's see how it looks. Nice. There we go. That's going to work out just fine. And with that, we're basically done with the construction of this new AK FJ43 kit. And just in kind of a conclusion here, for the first kit out of the company, this is a really nice kit. They've done a very nice job in design and execution. The parts are excellent, crisp, great surface detail. The fit overall is really, really nice, really well done. It's easy to put together. Like I said, it's basically a weekend build. There's not a lot of parts here that goes together very quickly. It's very smartly engineered, so highly recommended. Of course, in the next series, we're going to get on with the painting, so look forward to that. And if you do like this series, well, hit that subscribe and like button. And if you'd like a little bit more content, including, like, say, contests where we give away kits, well, head on over to Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. So until the next time, take care, everybody, and happy modeling.